Welcome back to my virtual classroom for another nutrition lesson. I'm Miss Emily, and today we're going to learn about carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are one of the 6 essential nutrients. Can you name them all? Great! The 6 essential nutrients are carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, minerals, and water. Do you remember which one of these nutrients gives us the energy to think, play, and grow? That's right, it's carbohydrates. Last week we talked about carbohydrates, protein, and fats. All 3 of these essential nutrients have calories, which give us energy. Today we're just going to focus on carbohydrates. We're going to learn more about what they need to do for our bodies and what foods we need to get enough of them.
Okay, let's take a look at the My Plate. Do you know which food groups contain carbohydrates? If you said the grains group, you're right. But did you know that the fruit and vegetable groups also contain carbohydrates? Let's think of some examples that we can put up on the My Plate. So for the grains group, we've got bread. Maybe you also like to snack on some pretzels. Maybe you have tortillas. And one of my favorites, oatmeal. All of these foods are a really great way to get some carbohydrates into our diet, which gives us the energy to do all of the exercise that we need to do to stay healthy. But don't forget, we also have vegetables. We could have some sweet potatoes, maybe some squash, some corn, and let's do one more. How about some peas? All right, and we just learned that we can also get carbohydrates from the fruits group. So let's put some fruits up there. We've got plums, pears, kiwi, grapes, and maybe one more. How about some raspberries? Can you think of any other foods that we could put up on My Plate? What do you like to eat at home?
Okay, so now we know some foods that give us carbohydrates, but what do they do for our bodies? Let me give you an example. What is 2 plus 2? It's an easy one. 4. Your brain just used the energy from carbohydrates to think of the answer. So let's do another one. I want you to sit up straight and stretch your arms all the way up to the ceiling. Your body just used energy from carbohydrates to do that stretch. So let's take a look at this picture of the My Activity pyramid. This pyramid is a guide that gives us ideas about what types of activities are good for us and how often we should do them.
Let's take a look at this picture of the My Activity pyramid. This pyramid is a guide that gives us ideas about what types of activities are good for us and how often we should do them. What do you see the kids doing on the stairs and right beside the My Activity pyramid? Right, they're playing and being active. Why do you think the My Activity pyramid shows kids being active? That's right, because regular physical activity is important to keep our bodies healthy. Why do you think regular physical activity is a good idea? Well, it makes your heart, muscles, and lungs strong. It makes you feel good, and it's also really fun.
The bottom of the pyramid has lifestyle activities, and these should be done every day or as often as possible. These activities could be things like playing outside, helping with chores around the house, kind of like the boy in the picture folding laundry, and walking. You can try adding more physical activity to your daily life, like taking the stairs instead of the elevator. Lifestyle activities can help you stay flexible and maintain strong muscles and bones. Okay, let's stand up. It's time for some exercise. I'm going to put slides up on the screen, and I want you to follow the instructions that you see.
The first level of the pyramid is called lifestyle activity. So let's walk in place for a minute and get our bodies moving after sitting down for so long.
There are other lifestyle activities you can do besides walking, like cleaning your room, playing outside, taking the stairs instead of the elevator, and helping with chores around the house. We should do lifestyle activities as often as possible. Okay, the next level on the pyramid is called aerobic exercise, which we talked about in our last lesson. Keep walking, but this time, pick up your legs a little higher, move your arms back and forth, and go a little faster. In our last lesson, we talked about how aerobic exercise gets your heart beating fast and your lungs breathing heavier. We should do aerobic exercises every day. 60 minutes is a really good goal. You can do anything you like, dance, ride your bike, play sports, or whatever you like to do to get your heart rate up. Let's kick it up a notch. I'm going to play some music and I want you to dance however you want. Go crazy and have fun. That was some really good exercise. Let's go back to walking slowly in place for a minute to cool down. Do you feel the difference between when we first started walking and when you finished dancing? Your heart is probably beating faster, you're probably breathing heavier, and maybe your cheeks are a little warm and flushed. That's because aerobic exercise takes more effort and energy than lifestyle activities. But both forms of exercise are important to keep us healthy. Let's take a look at the next level of the pyramid, muscle strengthening. There are lots of activities you can do to strengthen your muscles, like push-ups, sit-ups, and pull-ups. These activities are important to keep our muscles and bones strong, and we should do them about 3 times a week. Before we do some muscle strengthening exercise, let's stretch a little bit to make sure our muscles are nice and loose so we don't hurt ourselves. I want you to lace your fingers together and stretch your arms out in front of you with your palms facing out, like this. Hold that for 20 seconds, and then we're going to do it one more time. Lace your fingers together and stretch your arms out in front of you with your palms facing out, just like in the picture. Hold this for 20 seconds. Let's do it one more time and hold for another 20 seconds. You should feel this stretch in your arms and upper back. Okay, now your arms are ready to work. Let's do some push-ups. All right, now that we've done some exercise, let's take a look at the top of the pyramid, inactivity, like watching TV, playing video games, playing on the computer, and reading books or magazines. These activities can be fun and educational, but we should just make sure that we're getting up and moving around throughout the day, at least once every hour. It's important for you to be active for several hours every day or most days. At a minimum, you should be active for at least 60 minutes every day. All physical activity counts towards activity time. That means the activities we talked about today, lifestyle activities, aerobic activities, and muscle strengthening activities, all count towards staying active. Let's do a little review. Which nutrient gives us the energy to be physically active? Carbohydrates. What are some lifestyle activities you can do to be more active? You could walk, ride a bike, help clean the house, help with yard work, maybe shovel some snow. And what are some aerobic activities you can do to get your heart pumping? You could dance, run, do jumping jacks, play sports. And what are some things you do that are inactive? Watch TV, read, play video games. These are all totally fine, but we need to make sure we're getting up at least once every hour to move around and making sure that we add more lifestyle activities to our daily routine and get at least 60 minutes of activity per day. It's important to remember that making these small changes in your lifestyle can have a big impact on your health. We're all stuck at home right now, so we're not as active as we were before. We don't walk to different classes throughout the day, we don't have PE class or recess, and we can't go to the playground with all of our friends. But we can still be physically active. What are some things you can do every day to keep moving? I want you to write down some ideas and share them with your friends and family. Everybody can get involved. Wow, all that learning and moving around made me really hungry. Remember, carbohydrates are what give us the energy to do all of that exercise we need to stay healthy. So let's head to my kitchen and make a snack. Today we're going to make granola bars, which have lots of healthy ingredients in them, lots of carbohydrates that will give us energy to move around.
Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our honey and maple syrup and add it to the peanut butter, which I have in a small saucepan. We're going to heat that up, and you can see the honey that I'm using is really thick, so it's important that we heat it up so that everything can mix together and be really smooth. So now we're going to take it over to a low heat on the stove, and we're just going to keep stirring it. Just let it kind of melt a little bit and get really soft. And then you'll see when I keep stirring it, as it heats up a little bit, it's going to get really, really smooth. And I'm using chunky peanut butter, but you can use whatever kind of nut butter that you like. Okay, now that our peanut butter, honey, and maple syrup is all mixed together, it's totally smooth, we're gonna add our oats to the bowl. And I added a little bit of cinnamon in mine. And then we're going to add some unsweetened coconut flakes, some of the carrot that I shredded earlier, and our raisins. I'm using golden raisins, but you can use whatever kind of raisins you like. You could even use currants or dates or dried cranberries, anything that you like.
Then what we're going to do is we're going to add our peanut butter mixture with the honey and maple syrup in it. It's still melted together. It's all nice and smooth, but you'll see it's not super hot. I let it cool down first just to make sure that it's not too hot when we're handling it. So once you get that into the bowl, you can just start mixing it all together until it's all incorporated and it looks kind of gloopy and everything is spread evenly. Okay, once you have everything all mixed together, we're going to pour it out onto a baking tray lined with parchment paper so nothing sticks. And you can use a 9 by 13 inch baking dish if you have one, but if you don't, you can just use a flat sheet tray. It's totally fine. And what I'm going to do after I get everything out onto the sheet tray is wet my clean washed hands a little bit, and that will help my fingers not stick to the granola mixture. So you'll see I'm going to wet my hands and then I'm going to pat everything down into an even square. And if you have more of a dish, you can kind of just press everything down and into the sides. And once that's done, we're going to throw it into a 350-degree oven for about 25 minutes until it looks like this. And now we're ready to try our snack. I think they came out really well. They're tasty. And remember, they have all three of those food groups that help us get carbohydrates. We've got grains in there with the oats. We have vegetables with carrots and some fruit with the raisins. So it's a really healthy snack. It'll give you lots of energy to get up and get moving. And if your granola bars didn't turn out as kind of a bar shape, if they started to crumble, that's totally okay. You can just crumble it over some yogurt and some fruit for an even more balanced snack. So I hope you enjoy your granola bars, friends. Thanks for coming to my lesson. See you next time.